And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and ever so lovely Miss Button for introducing our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. Swish! He's on fire! He's heating up from downtown. You should know the theme by now, but you know how we do here, the choices of the voices.
Bang!
Yes. We ask you the question, you give us the answers, and we talk about it, and we have fun with it. With that being said, Scotty D, what's the question for this week's choices of the voices?
All right. So last week I told you that I stole this one from the 4-Letter Network because they were talking about the top 3-point shooters in history, which was Ray Allen, Steph Curry, and Reggie Miller. And of those three, which one would you take if you needed a 3-pointer to tie or win the game at the end of the game? Put the camera on my face.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
Speaker view. Hold on.
Matty Ice, turn this up. Turn it up. Turn the volume.
Here we go. Let me readjust my seat. This is about to come in.
Okay. So Matty Ice, let me just say this. You have been a very big supporter of our show, and we love you because you've been very loyal participant and listener and all that stuff. But pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. If I would say to you, who do you like better playing Batman, Christian Bale or Michael Keaton? The answer is not Ben Affleck because he's from Boston. Sometimes these questions are limited to just a couple of choices. It's not a slight. It's not a knock on people from Boston if they're not part of the choice of the answer. It doesn't mean I don't like Larry Bird. It doesn't mean Larry Bird was not a good player. But of these three, because you're not the only one from Boston that has this little issue. I don't know if you realize this, but there are teams when they go to Boston, they play the Bruins, they play the Celtics, the Red Sox, the Patriots. When these teams leave, they play other teams. There are other sporting contests that take place that don't involve Boston teams. So, having said that, I apologize if I offended you for not putting Larry Bird in this conversation, but these are the top three. Wasn't even a question that I originated, but the top three statistically 3-point shooters in history: Reggie Miller, Steph Curry, Ray Allen.
Hey, I got one even better for you.
Yeah.
Ray Allen played in Boston at a time.
Right. And that actually solved the problem for one of the other Boston people that had a little bit of issue with answering this question. So just please understand that if I don't put a Celtic, Bruin, Red Sox, Patriot in the answer, doesn't mean that we don't like them or think that they're good. All right. Matty Ice, love you. Please continue to listen on. Glad we cleared the air on that. So, Eddie Cool, what did we get here as far as answers for this week?
Ladies and gentlemen, the money man, Scotty D. All right. So, JR, friend to the show, he says Reggie Miller all day. Good old Reggie Miller with the awkward release where his hands does this. But it goes in. He's number 3 all time. So he says Reggie Miller. All right. Anybody? Reggie Miller? Good choice. Okay.
Yeah, we'll wrap.
Okay.
We'll get to all of them.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. And then Joe Gafkin, he said Gigi Shuttlesworth. Jesus
Shuttle. Yeah.
Jesus.
I think it was a self-correct thing when he typed it, but Jesus Shuttleworth, that was Ray Allen.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah. Yep. And he said Jesus Shuttlesworth was a sniper and a great spot-up shooter. Got most of his shots coming off screens. And then he says Reggie was a dog, an annoying dog, but a dog nonetheless. He moved well off the ball and could shoot the lights out. Ask Spike Lee, okay? And Steph does all of the above and then some. This dude drains jumpers from the tunnel of Oracle for you-know-whats and giggles to pleases the fans. His handles are on another level. He creates his own shot and constantly moves without the ball. You can't even leave him open from 40 feet. He said all three are great, but it's Curry all day, every day. So he said Steph.
All right. One for Curry, one for Reggie.
All right. Brian Early said what? Manute Bol as an option?
Not at all, yeah.
No, not
the Manute Bol's option, yeah. I said that was an oversight on my part.
Did he ever make a 3-point shot in his career?
Six.
Hmm. flat-footed, like Sam Perkins, flat-footed 3-pointer.
Yeah.
You remember what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell is Sam Perkins doing shooting threes, looking like the lead singer from Mint Condition? Anyways, all right. Tom Wynn, he said, you know what? He can't choose. He said, you can't go wrong with any one of them. He got a point. He's got a point, right? The best name in the game, JoJo Comfort, he says, hard to go wrong with any of them, but my gut tells me to take Reggie. All right. Joey Jacobs says he'll take Robert Ory.
It's a free for all. This is an anarchy.
Yeah.
Just pick whatever you want. You know.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at him. Big shot Rob. You know, seven of them boys. You got 7 of them boys, but that's not the question. Answer the question that is laid in front of you. You know what? We are a forgiving podcast. We will let you have the creative wonder to go off the subject a little bit, but please answer the original question, and then also you can opine on who you would like to have. But it's okay, it's all right. Do what you want to do. Just do
Robert Ory was one of my favorite players. I loved Robert Ory, but and I get the reference. He was a clutch shooter, but this was again of the top 3 greatest. Yeah. So because we had another guy, John Wazik, picked Michael Jordan, and it's a guy I went to school with, so I sort of made fun of his Cal U of Pennsylvania education, which is making fun of myself because that's my alma mater as well. And then there's the Matty Ice one. Did you see the Matty Ice one?
Oh, we're getting there. All right. Craig Burns said
I stopped.
Craig Burns said I stopped reading after you get your choice. And Scott Donnelly said, you see, this isn't a question asking who is the best or who your favorite is. I've asked that before. If your favorite food is pizza, and I asked if you like chicken wings or steak better, it doesn't mean pizza isn't any good. If you listen to the segment,
yeah,
I gotta finish this. If you listen to the segment, I was using the question that was used in the discussion from the 4-letter network regarding the 3 players with the most 3-pointers in NBA history. And of the 3, who would you want to see take the last shot? Seems that people from Boston stop reading when a sports topic isn't centered around either one of them. Drop the mic, Scotty D. Drop the damn mic. Drop the damn mic.
That was in a nutshell kind of what I expressed to Matty Ice here today. Again, Craig, Matty, we love our Boston people. We do. We love our Boston people. But and then Craig in turn said he'll take the Boston guy, Ray Allen. So.
Okay. He'll take
Fair
Ray
enough.
Allen. Yeah, he'll take Ray Allen, and then Tom Wynn chimed in and said, "Freaking chowder heads." Oh man, this is great. This is great. See, this is why we love doing the choices of the voices week in and week out, because of stuff like this. Did I miss anybody? I
think just the Matty Ice one.
Matty Ice did mention Robert Ory as well, and then I think Trey Dizzle mentioned Steph Curry.
Okay.
Let's see. Then Craig Burns came back and said, I guess I'll take the Boston guy, Ray Allen. Hence back to my point earlier. But yeah. So let me see. Let's see if I could tally this. Oh, and John Washik. Of course, he also goes off the tangent. And he says Michael Jordan. Yeah. Michael Jordan was not a very good 3-point shooter, by the way. Just to let everybody know. And you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm tired of people. I'm tired of these stat chasing people when it comes to comparison. Blah blah blah. I've been arguing with people again on the internet. I need to stop doing that, but I can't help myself because I've made a statement in a case for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar should be the greatest of all time. I believe I've mentioned on the show before.
Yeah.
And then someone mentions that LeBron James has gotten more points with less 3-point less shot attempts and blah blah blah. I keep telling people, hey, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the majority of his career did not have a 3-point line. Michael Jordan didn't get introduced to a 3-point line until he got into the NBA. Yes, you're going to get more points with less attempts because you shot 3-pointers, LeBron James. That does not take away from your greatness. And now this new stat came out. If LeBron James, you take away all of his free throws, he has such and such more points than Kevin Durant and such more points than Steph Curry, and with that's not even counting his free throws. What is the entire purpose? LeBron James has been in the league for 19 seasons. Kevin Durant's been in for 14. Steph Curry's been in there for 12. Why are these stats? Why are you making up hypotheticals to make someone sound better? He's already great. LeBron James will probably go down in history.
Yeah.
Most likely LeBron James will go down as the number 2 greatest of all time. He's number 2. Great. Michael Jordan's number 1. Sorry. Well, I still want to put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar up there just because of his overall accolades, college and pro. You put college and pro together, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the best, the greatest of all time. But that's a whole nother argument. I'll say what I say. Stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. Stop padding stats and changing stats to make someone sound or look better. ESPN is the worst for it. Absolute worst. That 4-letter network. Stop padding stats to make someone look better than they already are. Just expound on their already in tune greatness. LeBron James has scored more points in the NBA regular season and playoffs more than any other player. That speaks volumes. It also speaks longevity. That doesn't mean clutchness, but that's a whole other thing. But it's just yeah. Sorry. Went off on a tangent. I digress. Let's bring it back. Amtrak. Yep, I'm good. All right.
But B-Live, you are right, man. It's just just let's talk about the here and now instead of the what if and the hypotheticals. It just sully, sours, and stings all kind of stuff. All right. And with that being said, Scotty D, between the three, between Reggie, between Steph, and between Ray Allen, who went to high school in Dalzell, South Carolina, who would you pick?
Believe it or not, I think out of the 3, I would take Steph third in this situation. And make no mistake about it, Steph Curry is by far the greatest 3-point shooter I have ever seen. He is effortless. He can get that shot off whenever he wants. He's got a great handle, as Joe mentioned. But I haven't seen him have to do this as often. And the reason I'm putting Ray Allen ahead of him is because Ray Allen hit one of the most amazing 3-pointers, the most clutch ever whenever he was with the Heat against the Spurs in game 6. And the game was just about over, and he hits an incredible 3-pointer from the corner. And that just, that's the biggest situation you could possibly need to have a 3-pointer. But Reggie Miller would be my pick because Reggie worked so hard to get open. He was the hardest worker. He used to just run off screens, and he wanted the ball so badly. He wanted to make that dagger so badly in that big situation. Reggie was very clutch, and there's not a wrong answer here. I mean, any one of these 3 were amazing. Steph Curry is the greatest I have ever seen, and I think it's by a lot. And these 2 are right behind, and I'd throw Klay Thompson in there. But I just don't think I've seen Steph have to do this that often. I mean, I can't off the top of my head even think of, Steph Curry needing a 3-pointer in a big situation to win or tie a game, just because usually Golden State was taking care of business for, when they went on that stretch of, 4 straight finals appearances. And I think they won 3 out of those 4, and they're on track. They might be back in the finals again this year. Wouldn't surprise me a bit because they seem to be finally trending in the right direction. But I go Reggie. I like Reggie. How about you, B-Lev?
I'm going to do this because of the very reasons that Scott mentioned, that this is very, very tough to answer because all 3 of them are just lights out shooters. They've all hit clutch shots. I'm just going to go to the statistics. Clutch time statistics, which would account for the last 60 seconds of a game, fourth quarter, or in overtime to either tie or take the lead. Clutch time statistics, I believe, started in, I want to say, probably the late 80s, early 90s, when they really started looking at these stats. In their careers, respective careers, Ray Allen in clutch time for 3-pointers, 54 made out of 148 attempts, and he was in the league for 14 seasons, gave him a shooting percentage of 36.5%. Reggie Miller, 18 seasons, he He shot 87 attempts on 87 made out of 230 attempts, which gave him a 37.8 percentage from three-pointer in clutch time. Steph Curry, he's played in 12 seasons, 32 made attempts out of 96 attempts with a 33.3%. With that reason alone, I'm going with Reggie Miller. Steph Curry.
What was his compared to Ray again? Say that again.
Reggie Miller.
Give me that last number of all three. The percentage you said you had.
Reggie Miller 37.8%. Ray Allen 36.5%. Steph Curry 33.3%.
Okay. Wow.
So by statistics alone, Reggie Miller is the most clutch. And blasphemy to what Scotty D said when he said that Ray Allen hitting that three-pointer from the corner to with LeBron and blah 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 yada yada. That does not top when Reggie Miller scored 8 points in 8.9 seconds against the Knicks. Are you kidding me?
But it was the final
three-pointer steal, three-pointer.
That was amazing. That was incredible. In Madison Square Garden, absolutely incredible. The reason I was referencing Rays is because the fans were already heading for the exits. They were gone. They were leaving, and he made that three and brought the Heat back from the dead. And I think they won that series. I think they were about to get eliminated there. And
yes,
he didn't make that shot. So
not the discount. But that was a big shot. Oh, without question.
But that Reggie thing you're talking about was historic too. That was in the Garden, and when he turned around doing the choke, was that when he was doing the choke symbol? I think?
Spike Lee, yeah,
yeah.
He looked at Spike Lee, was like,
and also to your point when you say about Steph Curry, just because he just hasn't been in that position that much,
exactly,
just like you said.
So, I think out of the three, Steph Curry can create his shot better than Ray Allen and Reggie Miller. But I feel like when push comes to shove, I think just because Reggie Miller has hit more of them and at a better rate, I'm going with Reggie Miller. Man, I wasn't even an Indiana Pacers Reggie Miller fan, but just watching him play, I was like, dude, I want to shoot the ball like this dude. Reggie Miller was my dude growing up that I wanted to put that extra pepper on the shot. Man, oh man. So Reggie Miller, that's got to be my pick. And it cool, what say you?
Well, it's a clean sweep. I guess we all going to say number 31, the Hall of Famer himself. I don't know if he's in there yet, but he needs to be in there. Reggie Miller, a.k.a. Cheryl Miller's brother. All right? Reggie, look, Reggie can flat out shoot that thing. All right? Like you said, Reggie can, fighting off screens. And just like you mentioned, Scotty D, that one time when they were playing the Knicks, and he was just fighting off the screen, getting open ball, draining it, and then getting the ball again, stepping behind there and draining it again. And then the iconic choke symbol, like Reggie Miller is something special. All right. I remember growing up in the mid-90s watching Reggie Miller. I'm like, he can't dunk worth a damn, but he can shoot that damn ball. He can shoot that ball. And see, I looked at Reggie Miller as like my favorite three-point shooters back then. A guy by the name of Dale Ellis.
He was good.
Yep, the Rifleman Chuck Person. Who else? And Detlef Schrempf.
Oh yeah,
love that guy, loved him. And then like Reggie Miller, I was like, man, you can't forget Glenn Rice, baby, Glenn Rice too. But out of all them, Reggie got in the playoffs, and he turned up to another gear.
And I think if I'm going to say, I think Reggie hit a big three to beat the Bulls or tie the Bulls when remember the one year they pushed the Bulls to 6 games, and I think it was Jordan's last season, and they had to overcome the Pacers. I think he hit a big one against them too, if I'm not mistaken, coming off of a screen and getting a look. And I think he did hit a big playoff one. And if you do that against the Bulls, and that's hard to argue against that.
Yeah. So Reggie Miller. Yeah, I'll tell you, man, that damn Reggie Miller, he was a bad dude, man. Like the things he could do once he get the ball in his hands, and his release was quick. He had a quick release. He wasn't fancy. Spot up, give me, bam, going to the other end of the court to play defense. And if you see me open again,
Confident.
very, very, yeah. How the kids go. He had ice in his veins. Reggie had ice in his veins. All right. With that being said, shout out to JR, Joe Buckets, Brian Early, Never Late, John Wasick, Tom Winner Chicken Dinner, the best name in the game, JoJo Comfort, Joey Jacobs, Matty Ice, Craig Burns, Scotty D, and everybody for their contribution in this week's Choices of the Voices. Scotty D, with that being said, what's on tap for next week?
All right, just because I have this bad taste in my mouth about the dunk contest, I'm just going to ask you, who did you most enjoy watching dunk the basketball? I don't care if you're talking about dunk contest or in a game or on the playground. Maybe your neighbor had hops and he could dunk on everybody on the playground. But just ask you your favorite dunker ever, and that'll give us something to talk about next week. We'll talk about the good days of dunking next week.
Oh, since you mentioned that, I got one that comes to mind. And if you see this on YouTube, I got one thing to say. Coming at you next week on the Choices of the Voices, the illest dunker you've seen, be it Dwight Howard, be it somebody. You got what you got to say, Be Live?
Oh yeah, I just want to throw in a couple quick things. Scotty D did mention it was Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Championship, Pacers versus Bulls. Miller hit a game-winning shot that tied series 2-2 against the Bulls. Bulls end up winning in 7 of that series. And just want to throw out something for those Boston lovers out there.
From Boston.
Career stats: Steph Curry, 42.8% three-point shooter. Ray Allen, 40% three-point shooter. Reggie Miller, 39.8% three-point shooter. Larry Bird, 37.6. He's a little behind those guys. He did all right. You got to also think Larry Bird did go through a good portion of his career without a three-point line. But yeah, just want to throw a
bad back.
Yeah, so props to the man. Hick from French Lick. Yep. And so just want to throw that out there. So I'm actually excited for next week's Choice of the Voices. I already have my answer. You already know my answer. I'm pretty sure it's going to be unanimous, but it's going to be pretty cool to talk about. Yes, sir.
Could it be Daryl Dawkins, or could it be that time I had on a Dennis Rodman jersey on, some baggy jeans, some Air Contrails, and I was dribbling the ball down the court, and I was like, Eddie, and I was like, oh, I just dunked the basketball. I was doing things at a young age, just beast mode. But enough about me. Come talk to us next week. Choice of the Voices, your favorite dunker, be it you, your daddy, your Uncle Jimmy across the street, Daryl Dawkins. It don't matter. See you next week for Choices of the Voices.